In this video today, I'll be showing you how I replaced the glass on the Apple Watch. This is the Series 3 42mm. The customer brought me this device, and the touch has gone out on the glass as it almost always does on the second and third series. There you can see on the back 42mm Series 3. As you can see, the touch doesn't work, so I can't really turn it off, so we'll have to disconnect the battery in order to fully turn it off. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to carefully slice through the old adhesive. I do this with a thin piece of plastic. It's rigid enough to act as like a razor blade, but not as dangerous as a razor blade. And then I actually use the adhesive that comes to help separate it. It tends to pull the glass off for me. Sometimes when you mess with the screen, the device restarts. So that's what that was. But I'm just going to double check to make sure, now that I have the display disconnected, that it still works. We'll go ahead and disconnect the battery by removing the screw there and the shield that covers the battery connector. It just pries up and pulls out pretty easy. And if you don't have enough fingernail, you won't be able to get under the battery, so gently use some type of pry tool. If you're going to use metal, be sure you know what you're doing. This isn't a repair that is simple. Next, I'm going to be peeling back the stickers that cover up the connectors, and I'm going to gently flip up each one of the tabs for the connectors. The next step is going to be removing all the connectors, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull back the sticker here to allow me to have easier access to them, and I'll wiggle each connector out of its joint there. There's the screen all the way off. I'm going to tape up the majority of the screen just so I don't have the glass shards falling everywhere. Now we're going to take it over to our heat plate. We're going to suck it down so that it doesn't move. Carefully pry at the heat-seek sticker that goes across each one of these brackets. Carefully remove that. Next, I'm going to pull up the flex cable for the touchscreen or digitizer, and get that kind of out of the way a little bit. Now each one of these screens is going to be different, but I have a point of entry where I can insert my wire on the top side there. I'm going to slowly work the wire around. Now mind you, this whole video is in fast forward basically, so it's going to take much longer than this to remove the glass. I'm doing this at a very fast pace in the video. But you'll gently be able to make your way across. Here my suction started to give out, so it's going to be a little tricky. I get it eventually. Alright, there we go. Next we're going to take and pull off all of the adhesive. So I do this by rubbing my finger on the adhesive, as you may have seen me do in my other videos on the Apple Watch Series 1, Series 2, and Series 3 as well. This does take some time, but I found this to be the easiest method for me to remove the adhesive because it's pretty tacky stuff, but it does roll off with patience. You can flex the display a little bit, but don't push too hard because it is fragile and you may end up damaging it if you flex it too much. Almost got all the adhesive off. After this step, we will then go toward cleaning the display and testing it to make sure that throughout this whole process we haven't done any damage to it. There we go. We'll just go straight to connecting it. Now, as you've probably seen in some of my other videos, I really don't like these connectors because they have such a tight tolerance. They're a little tricky to work back in, especially when you don't have the rigid glass on the display. You have to work with the display without damaging it. It's a little tricky. Go ahead and get that connected up. Reconnect the battery and I'll try turning it on. There it goes. We'll go ahead and clean the display off a little bit there. I love the look of the water and the fire. There we go. I just zoom in just so you can see that it's still working. Here's the fire. Beautiful. Love it. One more time. Alright, we'll go ahead and disconnect the battery again and disconnect the display. We're going to move on towards installing the new digitizer on this display. So I'm going to make sure it is clean. There you go again, Series 3, 42mm. We'll elevate the display on this little stand that I've made that you will have seen me made in another video. And then I'm just going to be meticulous in cleaning off the display to make sure that there's no dust or other residue that's going to end up between the display and the glass. Now we're going to apply some of the Aloka that we have. I'm just going to put a little dollop there. There's a little dust speck that got in there, so I'm going to remove it. Take our new digitizer, peel off the protector that's in the inside and carefully set it on. Now if you go too fast, you may end up getting a bubble like I do here. So I'm going to lift it back off. There you can see the little bubble. I'm going to pop it out. A couple of the little micro bubbles that were in there, I'm just going to pull them out. And then I'm going to go ahead and just let that re-adhere to itself and become bubble free. We'll let gravity naturally pull the adhesive to all the corners. And then I'm going to use my microscope and line up all the corners and flash it with my UV light. And when I'm satisfied with its alignment, I'm going to hit it really hard with UV light, both on the front and the back, for quite some time, just to make sure that this is solidified. Go ahead and protect the front, and we're going to go ahead and put the connector temporarily down. I'm going to later adhere it with adhesive that I think I do off camera, but we'll go ahead and check and see if the touch is now working. We'll go ahead and we'll connect the connectors again. Gently placing the connectors in each one of their spots. The center one's giving me a little bit of trouble, so I'm going to go ahead and move on to the third one and get it secured so that I can keep going on the middle one for the touch. The third. That one goes in fairly easily. Go ahead and snap down the connector there and back and forth between each side, and eventually we'll get the digitizer. We'll flip that connector down. Let's go ahead and reconnect the battery and power it on. There we go, Series 3 42 mil. Sorry, that's kind of fast. If you like what you've seen so far, feel free to subscribe and leave a comment below if you'd like to see a video of something that isn't out there, or something you'd like to see me do. But here you go. Here you see that the display is still working. We'll go ahead and we'll test the touch now in a second. Beautiful display. Love it. First time testing the touch, and there it is. The customer said they had this sitting around on their shelf for many months because the touch hadn't worked and they weren't sure if they wanted to get it fixed, but it ended up being a lot less to get it fixed than to buy a new one. There's the beautiful Fire display. I really enjoyed doing this video. If you've enjoyed it as well, feel free to like the video and to leave a comment below. Thanks for watching. I'll go ahead and turn it off, and I'll readhere the screen after putting everything back together. Here it is, all put back together. I've called the customer and he's going to come and pick it up shortly. He'll be excited to have his watch working again without being cracked and without being able to use the touch. Again, beautiful the way that they've done this display. I love it with the water and the fire. And finally, thanks for watching.